God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong, both to defend forever the cause of freedom and of right. Fill our hearts with true humility, make us cherish fearless honesty, and help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forevermore. And help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forevermore. And might God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong, both to defend forever the cause of freedom and of right. Fill our hearts with true humility, make us cherish fearless honesty, and help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forevermore. And help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forevermore. And might God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong, both to defend forever the cause of freedom and of right. Fill our hearts with true humility, make us cherish fearless honesty, and help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forevermore. And help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forevermore. And might
Yo, it's here for Yama Munina Ajo. Greetings to all our listeners around the world. Watching from Ghana, we have our wonderful sister Gracia Ado. Honorable Apietu Ankra is also watching from Ghana. Mrs. Mercy Kunto is watching from New York. Sister Nancy is watching from Virginia. Daisy, Grace, Princess, and the boss. They are also watching from the Bronx. Adofwa almost so mu emajumedie yetimi edebre mo the Green Opal Properties. A building company. So per se we see dying. Our foundation here very strong. Nasam from my boy, the velocity of the wind will not pull it down. Anyway, I'm recommending Green Opal Properties enemy the amount. Beliza Decorations. Pacho almost an ebwa jumedi Emma Edinkra Yedisa Jumedi Ebremo. So over to me from mo 212-365-0765. We also have Jack Build. You can't build inside buildings, no. And it's no www.jackbuild.com. Park Banquet. Pacho and also 917-226-2605. Your programs are obeying as a CIR. Corona has come to live with us, and we're also living with it. No, definitely no programs. Ebekoso. Ni chato nyamiche African market. Ayesa dofoi na omo esoyemu amayitumi di jumedie nyina ede ebremu. Once again, presenting to you the political show, The Front Desk. And I have my wonderful guest with me here. First, I have Mr. Mazu, Honorable Mazu. He is the MPP Communication Director. Then I have Honorable Abdul Latif. He's an independent rep. We're also waiting for our NDC rep, who is also Wofayao. He's an NDC youth organizer. And there, we are coming to talk about the easing of the restrictions in Ghana. Then we'll also talk about the Electoral Commission, the NDC, the Attorney General, and the Supreme Court. Until without wasting my time, I will quickly go to my wonderful guest so that they will give a short presentation. Yo, Abdul Latif. To warm up the game, you know. Again, Echo, we are warming up. You know, 2 minutes being if I warm up the uncle.
Who has a program no. Yebe and the for our more watch around the globe no. As time goes on, I hope it's more suggestion and contribution, a follow up because in Yano, a kabuman be it's not uncle. And the account be my mechanic say, the Yamias say, yes, I bet now. And you know, baby be now or be our no, or making sure so be follow now. Along the line, or say, you can't say be now queer, or making me draw attention. That would be very good for baby a successful program. Until the more can for the brief no.
Thank you. Honorable Mazu.
Oh, Soja.
Yes, sir.
Then I go.
Wow, yeah.
God has brought us to another week. We are alive and kicking and hoping that every single issues that we are going to discuss here is going to be of a significant importance to Mother Ghana. Anything that the country is doing, whether you are in opposition or your party is power, the bottom line is that we are discussing issues that would promote and project the image of a country called Ghana. Whether you like it or not, democracy entails the pivotal role of the opposition. So any person who describes himself as a Democrat and is not in agreement or consonance with the principle of multi-party democracy, that means that the views of the opposition, then the person really has a long way to go, because politics, you cannot even have it very well without a vibrant opposition. So for the past 3 weeks, we've had a lengthy discussion here without the input of the NDC. It is something that disturbs me, and I'm hoping that by the middle of the program, the NDC rep will come and join us so that together we'll be able to dissect and digress issues pertaining to our country. Even now and then, matters are if Ghana bar, and you look at the side of the government and you look at the side of the opposition. All in all, both the government and oppositions are aiming towards projecting the image of Mother Ghana. So, God has brought us to another week. We are alive and kicking, even though some of our colleagues have gone. And I will use this medium and platform to extend my condolences to the Yankasa Association of New York. We have lost an illustrious son who is an affable pillar of support when it comes to the activities of the organization called Yankasa Association. He was the former president of Yankasa, Professor Lukman, who passed on in Kumasi yesterday. As we speak they haven't even retrieved his body yet. So we are hoping that by the close of tomorrow, they'll be able to get his body and then lay him to rest. So my condolences goes to Red Tiger, Alhaji Mubarak, and any individual who matters in the activities of these trying times of ours. Professor Lukmanu has paid his dues. He has been instrumental in the formation of the Association of Yankasa. And when he retired and went back home, the Zango communities in Kumasi felt that he should be better part and parcel of the Zango traditional chieftaincy institution. So they made him as Damasani of the Sarkin Zango. That is the intellectual cabinet of the Sarkin Zango. So today we have lost him, and I hope God, Allah, will have mercy on him. And those of us who are living, may we also end our life in a very desirable way, as Professor Lukman has gone to. Yeah. Also, Ja.
Yes.
Yo.
Well, yeah, once again, Meda was say bebre. So, and then, we're coming to talk about the president easing of restriction in Ghana. Listening to one of the Ministry of Education, one of their rep by name Cassandra, and private school, rep also called Mr. Enoch. We know the president spoke about like certain percentage of people are going back to school, and as the American say, those final year students, they are going back to school. We'll go back to school, again, restrictions, and they at all. Us, according to the president, quoting from President West, or say schools will be fumigated, schools will be sanitized, and according to Minister of Educational Minister from the office, Nasmo can say every student be on face mask. The government will provide mattresses. The government will provide food, hand sanitizers. Still, there will be social distancing. They will check your temperature, and in each class, they will have like 25 people in a class. And also, I think that they've teamed up, say the hospital which is closer to you, if there's any emergency now, and also they will definitely talking about those who are day students, they will continue to be day students. Day student will always continue to be day student. But there are some schools it's like it's 50-50. We have some people they are boarders, and others are day students. What the government is trying to do is say they are going to incorporate them into all day students will tend to be boarders in order for say under control. The concerns are and for a show say one, how are you going to guide the youth? Because sometimes it's very difficult to so guide the youth. And then when the numbers are very small after classes, you know how young people are. They will force themselves to say your monko out. Talking about transportation, or more on taking transport, talking about trotro taxi, on befa trotro Eddie Ako school, talking about the day students, again precautions and more taking. You look about that. And parents cannot also visit their kids for 11 weeks. And also, concern parents need to be almost then using cell phones. Nipadu was saying, and almost use cell phone, obi use cell phone, and that becomes the question. And I want to say, dive deep into it. Say, easing of restriction, merit aspect. And now say a demerit aspect. Let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages. Is it worth it? Say, go back to school, and I said they should have continued online. And Abdul Latif, I think I'll start with you, so that you will also give us your take on that.
Yeah. Also, once again, thank you very much for this opportunity offered to at least elaborate on matters, so that our followers could get abreast with what is happening. And without wasting so much time, concerning this restriction, Obisame, my candid opinion, right from day one, I wasn't in support of government of Ghana observing the lockdown, and have my reasons. But it became important for the government to go ahead with the lockdown because of the convention that has to do with the association with World Health Organization. Once you are a member of the World Health Organization and a pandemic has been declared, you have no other option than to subscribe. At this moment, as to say, you observe, it's not the issue here. But what is the matter of concern has to do with numbers now. You work currently, we still have to go by with the restriction. Or previously, I think the first case was declared or came to light at was reported from Obuasi. From if my record says me right, I hope Honorable, I hope that's the case. I don't know whether you have it. That the first record of corona case was recorded at Obuasi. That's the information I have. That is just by the way. Okay. And as we speak, as at yesterday, Honorable Mazu and Mr. Osoja, Mr. will pay attention.
Yeah, me too.
As at Enrano, confirmed cases. No, Mr. My listeners, a few statistics be now Omuhu Dieko. As at Enrano,
one forget that you have 5 minutes.
No problem. As at Enrano,
so that you'll be able to talk.
As at Enrano, near were confirmed cases of 9,168. Confirmed cases. Death numbers near 42. Recoveries 3,457, which runs up so assess recovery rate now. It gives you 37.7%. That run it up to 38% as recovery rate, which is wonderful. But the case here is currently, what has necessitated for the easing of the restriction. There has been other concerns. Say, it has to do with government trying to embark on intensive politicking. That is why I say why relaxing measures, and to some extent I would say yes, and to some extent I would say no. Why? Because numbers now near one now a necessity say you be enhance or enforce lockdown. Numbers now are escalating from the previous numbers we have. So if now, despite the numbers and the recovery rate or the number of deaths, we're still relaxing the measures, it means there was even no need for a lockdown. But we just have to stick to the convention.
You mean to say it's kind of political motivated and
of
maybe the registration.
Exactly, and I'm citing one of the concerns that was raised by Dr. Opuni Frimpong. To him, he felt government is doing that for political gains, and I said that government is doing that to enhance people to be able to embark on political activities. So he's even calling on churches not to adhere to or not to open up churches because he still feels it's not safe just as I did indicated earlier on that previously we had just 1 death, but a lockdown was declared. Now we have 42 deaths. So if government is relaxing the measures to make sure people can embark on religious activities, you have every right to claim or say that government is doing that for political reasons, so that political activities could go on, such as...
So you mean that is your opinion?
That's my opinion. Government is doing that just to pave way for political activities to be able to get on board. That is the reason. Left to that, the figures tells us that we are still not safe. Because if we lock the nation in way back 2 weeks ago or a month ago because of the pandemic and we're now relaxing it, I think government is just doing that. And aside the political reasons, other things must go on. Like schools will have to go on. Schools have to be in session and other things. If not, it's going to affect the economy very well. So based on that and the challenges, I think it's right for the government to open up. But we need to tell Ghanaians that even closing down at first was even wrong. Because we have countries like Burundi that has not even observed the lockdown. We also have Tanzania. President Magufuli he once lamented and questioned World Health Organization for even declaring pandemic, because for him, countries are now being compelled to open up or ease up the restriction, though the numbers are high. So to him, what was even the need for even promoting or endorsing lockdown? And I think it's making sense. Without wasting much time, I think I'll pause here.
But also, don't you also think that, you know, the coronavirus or COVID-19, it has come to live with us? So maybe the best thing to do is, you know, find a strategic way to also deal with it.
Sure, I do.
Because it's like I'm looking at it from this different perspective that we are trying to politicize everything. But like from a layman point of view, the virus has come to live with us. So don't you also think maybe from a second point of view that maybe, okay, this is in with us. What can we do? There's nothing we can do. So let's attack it and let's try and defeat it by taking like the measures that have been put in, you know, the protocols that have been put in place.
Also, my take on that is I totally agree with that. Why? Because like we keep saying, we have other related or other sicknesses that are taking life every now and then. In case of Africa, malaria is even more than the word pandemic, while we're still finding a way to live with it. So it's a smart move on the part of the government to relax the measures, make it easier for people to go on with their everyday activity in order not to make it difficult for the economy to move on as expected. Like as we rightly said, schools have been relaxed so that final year students can go back to school. That is super. If not, it's going to affect the educational calendar severely. So I commend the government for having a second thought on releasing the restriction, making life easier for people. Now the ball is in the court of the people, which is the citizenry. They need to adhere to whatever directives that were talked about or were given from the camp of the government. We need to adhere in order not to make it a complex situation for people to end up contradicting or get infected. So you need to wear the mask, make sure you sanitize your hands as required, or continuously make sure wherever you go out, you are in the mix of people that you hardly or you don't doubt their health situation. So in a nutshell, it's a good move on the part of the government.
So I think I will also, I'll be very, very happy if we can also add this too. Also, he also talked about churches, and churches also, I think there should be 100 people. There should be 100 members in a church, and they should like church service should take at least 1 hour. Their names should be written, and most churches think the conditions is a little bit tough, because talking about there are certain churches that maybe there are 3,000 members, right? And it's only 100 people who are allowed to go into the premises, and you have to give them PPEs, personal protection equipment. You have to fumigate the place, you have to sanitize the place, wear face masks, make sure there's the 6 feet distance is also, and
observed.
if you go against the rules, also your church can be closed. So, quoting from one pastor, Pastor Otabil,
Yeah.
he said, "No, churches they cannot, hold church. There's not going to be any church service. They will still go online." And I think SDA also, they will still prefer. SDA will also still prefer to do the online, because to be frank, washing hand, taking your temperature, sanitizing can even take 1 hour. And let's take it like maybe you have like 500 members. The first 100 comes in. So whilst the first 100, they are about to leave the premises, and the next group are also about to come in, it can also take you approximately between 30 to 1 hour.
Yeah.
So if you can also add that to it, I think that would be wonderful.
Also, just as you made mention on the issue of churches or the easing up of the restriction, most churches have expressed concerns, and the issue on board is it's good that they've expressed concern, because safety first. And as we speak, most of our people, for instance, from the Muslim point of view, one imam, that's Imam Yusuf of Aswansi, as I speak yesterday, they directed his people to adhere to the laid down measures in order not to spread the virus. And in attempt to fulfill that measure, one of the congregants who came in without a mask was sent home to make sure he gets a mask before coming to the mosque. And I think that is a very good plus on the part of the imam. And on churches, I think government did that to at least compensate the people or most of the elders or pastors that had concerns that they wanted to pray. Now the ball is in your court. You've been given directive at most 100 people for a worship, and these are the measures. If only you adhere, government has no qualms with that. But I think had government not done that, there will always be a public outcry that, oh, we want to go and worship, we want to do this. As human beings will always be human beings. Whatever measures that's going to be put in place, we'll still complain that it's not enough or it's falling short of this or that. So in as much as we want to worship or we still want to go by the laid down rules, we also have to respect the measures. If any church or any mosque still want to abide by the laid down rules and worship, I don't have issue with that. But for those that feel they are not safe and they still want to stay away, they are entitled to their view to stay away. That is the beauty of democracy. You can't compel someone to do something against his will. That is what I think I have to say on that.
So Honorable Mazu.
Also, yeah.
Yes. So the ball is in your court now.
Tell me what you want me to say.
So it's the same topic. We're talking about the schools, and we're also talking about the churches.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, first of all, we've been discussing this issue of the COVID-19 for a while, because it is one of the essential issues that has engulfed the world, that has taken a center stage in the world activities, and it has dislocated a lot of economy, including that of Ghana. But fortunately, we are hearing a very better news from across the globe about how Ghana government is handling the case of this pandemic. Reputable newspapers in this very country, in US, especially New York Times, the Washington Post, and the Daily Mail in New York here, I have read much about the commendation they gave to Ghana government, and the way we are tackling that particular sickness. It is something that we should be proud of. Having said this, definitely as human beings, we will have people who will be in disagreement, even though the New York Times doesn't even know the boundary between NDC and MPP. We still have people who will disagree with the reportage of these reputable newspapers and the commendation that the government of Ghana is receiving. Having said that the opposition need to articulate this particular position because of their political survival. You do remember when this pandemic erupted, there was hula baloo, there was hue and cry. There's no nation that has specialized in solving this particular issue. And there's no one straight jacket way of resolving this issue. Everybody is doing what he can, which is why the pandemic is called the novel corona. It's a new disease. Nobody knows how it goes about. But you see, as you travel into the disease, you'll be able to know. Initially, when it erupted, we didn't even know how to put face mask. But upon investigation, they realized that when you come closer to individual, you can easily catch it. And they prescribe these face masks and nose masks for us. So we are building it as gradually. And when it erupted, many people, especially the opposition party, where people were calling for a total lockdown of Ghana. When this disease started, they were calling for a total lockdown of Ghana, making it a big thing. Then you see, the president, through the advice of experts, sat down and said, no, we don't need to close the entire nation. There's the need for us to look at certain economic values, economic variables. The life of the people matter, just as the economic activities of the individual too matter. So he brought down some restriction by closing down Greater Accra and Greater Kumasi. There was also another problem. Then as we were growing, if we were getting deep and deep, listen to me.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Seydou Keita, the General Secretary of the NDC, is noted to have said that the president instituted the lockdown simply because he wanted to rig the election. I don't know whether you read that. It is all over. He was interviewed one-on-one. He said the president instituted the lockdown. How can you lock down a country and rig election? You see, sometimes I would do apology. This drunkard statement coming from a reputable politician, we should be able to differentiate. Seydou Keita has been in parliament for 12 years. He's been one of the longest serving general secretary of a political party. Why do you have to come out there? But like I said, he needs to make this particular statement because of their political survival. Number two, Sammy Gyamfi, recently, when the president decided that they are going to ease down certain restrictions, listen to what he said again, that the recent restriction of the government is also an attempt to rig another election. So which one are we taking? Lockdown, you said the president is doing that because he wants to rig the election. Easing lockdown, you said the president wants to do it because he wants to embark on political mission. You see, sometimes we have to graduate from that. Yes, I know very well, NDC went through an excruciating defeat in 2016. And I don't really understand why they should feel that pain. Under the watch of the NDC, where agriculture grew at 0.1, under the watch of Fifi Kwati when he was a minister for agric, NDC left an inflation rate, unimaginable inflation rate in the history of our country, 15.something%. That was what they left. They left interest rate 16.1%. So all these things are wicked and naked dissipation of the national cake. You are talking about, you losing election. Fortunately, the people of Ghana are wising up. George Floyd just lost his life through an experience of white supremacy. A political party director of communication will use that cartoon simply because he wants the people of Ghana to vote for him. I really can't understand. I don't understand the hypocrisy of the NDC. I don't understand the naked, desperation for power. From 1992 to date, you have been one party that has ruled Ghana more than any other particular political party. But still they are not satisfied. But be it as it may, let me just come into the issues that we have raised. Now, the easing of the restriction regarding to certain institutions like the church and the mosque, the funeral grounds, the marketplaces, and most importantly, what you have just asked about the education, institutional education. Today, as we speak, NDC are saying that there wasn't the need for the president to ease up the restriction, simply because the cases are escalating.
Yeah. So, General Mazo, I will be very happy if you can tackle the list because of the timings.
Yeah.
Because you have 4 minutes more.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. No problem. The president is easing restriction because of certain the churches, the mosque, the marketplace, and the schools. And there's another hue and cry from the NDC. I don't really understand them. Whether they want us to continue in that. As I speak to you now, today is 6, right? Tomorrow is 7. Yeah. So by 7, New York, I'm still a student here. They are opening up to universities. Even though a lot of the program that I took in summer, I'm still doing them online. We have now moved to remote learning. But unfortunately, our country is so disadvantaged when it comes to internet. The entire Africa, education has been put in disequilibrium simply because of our peculiar technological challenges. Fair enough. But as I speak to you now, institutions, I work at Hostos Community College here on 149 in Grand Concourse. They are opening up institutions. So what do you have to say to that? Is the only thing is that we shouldn't even listen to the NDC guys. Now, President has given out certain direction to the churches and mosques, the number of people they require to get involved. If a church, for instance, he has lifted that restriction, only 100 people, but you see the national chief imam sat down and realized that a capital city, the national masjid, the national mosque, cannot really, they cannot gag, they cannot restrain the number of people who are trooping in. So he said no. Well, even though the president has said we should pray, they have fumigated the places. Initially, they don't even go there for daily prayers. It's not about only Friday prayers. Even the daily prayers, they were not observing it. But right as I speak, the daily prayers, the number will not even be up to 50. Sometimes it will not be even up to 20. You understand? So you can go there. It is only the Friday prayers that assemble a lot of people. But National Chief Imam said no. In Accra, that is a capital city. That's the national mosque. They cannot really contain the number of people who will come in. Even though they've already fumigated the place. They have the capacity to give face mask. They have the capacity to put in place the liquid soap. They have capacity to observe the social distancing protocol. But you see, they don't want to overburden people. He said no, people should rather stay. But places that are lesser in population, they can observe. There's a masjid in Kumasi, just Latif was just telling about. In fact, I will use this platform to salute the Imam, Sheikh Yusufia. He did a very good job. Listen, government of every country has the responsibility to protect its citizens. But when government protects you and you say that because of certain thing, yeah, I'm not going to observe that. For me, yes, I'm not going to observe that. That is over to you. You have heard the president gave out protocol, and the imam and other leaders of the community came out and spelled certain protocol that you should follow. This guy walked into the masjid with a face mask. The imam was on top of pulpit giving out sermon. He spotted him, got down, went and sacked him out. This is a very good exemplary leader. So I used Adinkra FM platform to salute Chief Sheikh Yusufia. He did a very good job. And coming back to the school, 2 schools, the lower primaries are not included. The universities, they are adults and they are even going, some of them are in final year. So once you are in final year, it is assumed that you are a little bit matured. They shouldn't have problem with that. As I speak to you now, Monday, University of Ghana is going to even start their semester exams. Also, please, there are issues that we do politics with it. There are issues that we need to divorce politics out of that. But I understand the NDC. They are doing this for their own political survival. And it is they are treading on a very dangerous caution. The people of Ghana are so wide and descending enough to be able to know under whose regime they were experiencing a better system of life, and under whose regime, when guinea fowl were able to get wings to fly out of Ghana and land into a no man's destination.
Thank you.
We know this.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you too.
General Mazu. I'll also use this opportunity to welcome Wofa Yao. Wofa Yao is in our midst, and we're very happy and we are very grateful to have you. Indeed, Wofa Yao. And then, you know, Government of Ghana President Nana Akufo-Addo, or easy restriction on restrictions about schools, like middle school, high school, colleges, or say they can still go to school, but the number of class should be reduced to, like, for instance, 25. They should also take the same, protocols as Yaseti or no, or follow sign winning. And people were talking about, say, young people. Sometimes it's very difficult to control them. And like high school, say a boarding any day or more day no, or more that never come more boarding no. But any day school it will still be a day school. But the government is going to provide food, is going to provide like mattresses, or face masks like miensa, and a face mask, a washable one. You can wash, and I think parents can also support. Internana ye they are ye drink home, and a churches no so a mosque no say nipa 100 ne betimi akom. Into say nipa 100 e koma na so muchuro mudin near the they say provide with PPE, personal, protection equipment. Say guidelines so to much men follows our guidelines now. The church will be closed down. And sorry, like talking about a Ghana Baptist Convention, they send a circulars around, and I have a copy with me here. So for now, they will still continue with the online church service until say be away. Talking about the mosque, obviously they, like with their small places, they can do that. But the general one, which is on Friday, or see they should hold on to it, because measures they put in place, or money so much to make this one, until they have to weigh the pros and cons. So much to make this so and sana. Until I don't know, we church are doing Latif, I shall not doing Mazu.
Thank you very much. We there, Maminfa Sakwenye Sunchia NDC USA phone, especially the executives and all members, me chair, me co-panelists, me chair also, and me chair phone. My idea say I bought ya doing come who may be alarm me brother now. You know the whole thing about this pandemic, it is novel and it is what? Novel simply means new. That is the meaning of novel. It means new. So it's not anything that we should be thinking about it. If you see novel, it means something which is new. And the disease is something, it is new in the system that we have just encountered it. Have you seen it? And then I said it from the beginning here, the day we first met, that look at the number now. We are hitting 9,000, right? Even extended is more than 100. Very good. You see, let me refer you to this before I even proceed with my submission. You see, last time we met, I told you that even it is because Ghana is a Christian nation. We worship, we have Muslims and Christians, we worship, and then at the same time, let me recommend the traditional people too. They are also there. They also perform their part. The traditional religion. Yeah. They also worship a lot. They also contribute. I said it here that Nyaminsa were so intina yare no yewo baby no. President no obemane a speech, the last speech, okay. Or say Nyaminsa were so pass, or go through the speech no kind because ubeti so bonyame diwum say nyame na kura ye ntina situation it is
first week in
that is why I said it. You remember I said that too, that Nyaminsa na wo ye so ntia kenye sa a kwan ye fa so e starting with the controlling of the disease wasn't the right thing. Have you seen it? We discovered the first case. What are we to do? We didn't care. The president didn't. The country, the head of the country didn't care about it. We waited for some time. Let the influx of people bring in it. We know the thing is novel and our people don't have it. It is coming from outside. Now, maybe
for the sake of time,
I'll come there. Yeah. I'm building something.
Okay.
So when you have allowed the disease to come into your country, now you move out and say, I'm doing contact tracing here. Prevention is better than to cure. Like I said before, if you have prevented it, you will not go and be doing contact tracing. Who is having it and not having it? Your borders were open. Ghana is surrounded among African francophone countries. We are in the middle. Burkina Faso here, Cote d'Ivoire here and stuff. And then the foreigners were also coming in. They were the very... Togo is also there. the flies were also trooping in. And they were the very people that brought it. Have you seen it? Yarena started spreading where 100 and something lock it down. Every 1,000 and over and you left it. After a situation, some escalating moment. Also, my lifted what we can lifted restriction. People can go out and do anything. I'm feeding them. And the disease keep on spreading. They were not observing anything. I'm sharing food. Look at the way people were clumsy, coming together for food. They were just getting as if they are in Accra Sports Stadium going to watch a football match. Just for food though. They couldn't design anything in the form of the way President Mahama did it. Look at you. You have 2.8 trillion as money in hand to fight this disease. You don't have a problem. You can feed the people for almost a whole year. Have you seen it? Provided they will use the money for what it is supposed to be used for. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
2.8 trillion, you can spread it on the whole Accra Sports Stadium to be full. That money will be full on the whole of Accra Sports Stadium. Have you seen it? How much do you use to feed those people? They were telling us that they were using 2 million Ghana cedis for a food that day. Which, if you want to put into this thing, 500,000 to not reach. But they were spending 2 million every day on that food. Are you getting it? Now the thing you have decided to let the disease spread among the people. Now you said, let me give you something here right now. Reverend Opuni, if you have heard about him,
Opuni, yeah.
This is what he said. He said Akufo-Addo is restriction not in favor of politics, not in favor of the church. I'm not the one speaking. I can send it to you.
That, yeah.
Yes, it means that he has an agenda, and I'm coming there. So they have immediately he lifted that thing. 20th of this month is going to be the day for their primaries, and then immediately too they had the chance to select him as the flag bearer of the new patriotic party. I don't know that they were not having all these things. It is after the restriction have been lifted. Have you seen it? Given as 100 people can gather, 200 people can do this and stuff, they have now gotten the chance now to go for their primaries on the 20th. Are you getting it? Yes. So what Reverend Opuni is saying here is justified. Are you getting it? So what we are talking about that he lifted this and that is to their own their own parochial interests. Are you seeing it? It's their own because they want to have their primary so that they can go for election. At the same time, they want the EC to compile a needless register. Have you seen it? When they lifted it now, the EC said he's doing piloting. You saw it, right? They have gotten the chance to do their piloting for the new register. A register that is not needed. We had a vote on the net. 75% of the country is saying that we don't need a register. Only 15%. Still, J. Mensah and Akufo-Addo and the MPP, the ruling government, is saying that we should go for a new register. A register, when my colleague was saying, he said they beat us with 1 million vote. Fine. That same register that you used to beat us 1 million vote. It is the same register that Mahama used to win election in 2012. You lost election. 2016, you won election with it, right? With the same register. 2020, we are going with the same register. You lost, you won. Somebody also lost and won and lost. Have you seen it? We are going with the same register. You said no, this time around, that same register cannot be used.
Is the next topic.
Okay, yes, I'm trying to build. I'm building on the register. Okay, may I say, how many minutes now?
We're over 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
So, in effect, the lifting of this, what do we call it? restriction is just they have their own parochial this thing that they were looking for. One, looking to conduct their primaries, parliamentary primaries. Now they have now conferred him, or he has now been selected as the flag bearer of the MPP. Before that, they were not having all these things. Since that he are given the mandate that 100 people can gather, it means that the EC can also go on to do their what? Compile the new register, which is not needed. We all know the whole country is kicking against the new register. And this is what he's trying to do, so that they can have avenue to that. Are you getting it? Yeah. So in effect, this lifting up or whatsoever that he has done, it has done nothing. Because if you look at the disease, it is still spreading. We are about to hit 10,000. Have you seen it? Yes. Instead of us to find a better way, have you seen it? All the churches are complaining that their members will not go to church. Do you know why? I'm coming. Do you know why? It is because what the president is saying doesn't make sense. They can't go and be doing 100 people doing. It doesn't make sense. The disease can easily be spread. And what they are supposed to do is that they have enough money. Due to President John Dramani Mahama hard work, the stabilization fund that he established have given you $300 million. You pick it and you give it to you have money. 1 billion for IMF, 100 million from what do we call it? 1 billion is from IMF, and the 100 million was also from which what do we call it? Look at it, and then corporate bodies have donated. What are you doing? So, can't you keep?
Maybe some question way. You know, say no say. What when we drink you're saying, because the person be say you're according to based on the constitution,
yeah,
definitely we should hold an election.
Yes,
based on the constitution.
Yes,
on the election.
Yes,
good. NIA they have to start giving cards.
Yeah,
release in Sakano and I think say I will just quickly.
Okay, NIA should give cards, right?
Maybe. 1 second. You know, National Identification Authority. That's June 5th, 2020.
Yeah.
Immediate release, press release.
Yeah.
Issuance of printed Ghana cards to applicants in all 16 regions.
Yeah.
The National Identification Authority (NIA) will issue almost 4 million printed cards to Ghana card applicants.
Yeah.
In almost about 6,000. Registration center in all 16 regions coming Monday.
Yeah.
Monday,
what is your question then? What is your question?
What I'm saying is you was saying Juma when in SCA.
Meba, we was saying Juma when in the first place. I know where you are heading towards. Let me come in.
It's an election basso. I say NIA.
Yes. Basso. Meba. Yes. And some year campaign. We are.
What doing the same?
Madrini say, election, we don't have problem with our election because what they are trying to do now, the NIA you are calling for, we don't need the NIA for our election. We have our register already, which is authentic, it has been confirmed by the EC that after our assemblyman election in January 17th December, they came out to tell us the register was 99.something% accurate. Is that not what they said? Yes, we use the same register for a referendum for the 6 new regions, right? They came out also and tell us that the register was accurate. So what do we need NIA for? What again? The NIA matter you are talking here is because of the evil agenda they have, taking something to court to tell us, deny disenfranchised Ghanaians that if you don't have NIA and passport, you cannot go on the new register. What sort of law is that? Where do they want to take our country to?
We have 15 seconds.
When we all know that the primary document of our country is what? The voters' ID, of which majority of them have it. How can you sit down somewhere and try, you want to disenfranchise people? What law is that? It doesn't go nowhere.
Thank you. Over here. Thank you. And you know, wherever I say, General Latif, when I remember 2 minutes to be now, say, Odebeck counter, now say, if you are in support.
Yeah. Restriction.
I think Mazu in the presentation and actually in the presentation. You know, bridging the two together. No.
Yeah.
Also no saying I also doing your find your more. You still stand on it and I say
also honestly said you cannot. It's in the COVID-19 no. The fear factor no in Nihobio. They say the here see a say protocols na say you observe, which is say about runsa or be making sure so face masks. Na Monkey Kambum, which is observing the social distance. No, these are the key things that we need to abide by. Or have be a TICRA, which is United States. No, way back from April, March, no, and March, April, May. No, the fear factor na never had no. It's no longer here, or it's neither here nor there. So the best we can do, to me, is what the president did, which is at least relaxing the restriction, making sure that other sectors of the economy, particularly school, we know how important schooling is to us. And he says, president, the need say obey relaxing measures now. Despite say numbers no are increasing, which under normal circumstances, it shouldn't have been the case. But as I say, the reality is this disease is not going today or going tomorrow.
You have 1 more minute.
So it's the best we can do is to abide by the protocols. And about schools, I want to take this opportunity to commend the leadership of Vero Secondary School and the Ministry of Education for making it such a way that their students can even now move to the boarding house. That's a big social intervention, and it's one of the finest way I beat me a fight COVID-19. Why am I saying that? Same microphone in final year students in it was school more. Now omonko back and forth and joining the outside world now, which is society. It makes it easier to tame and contain the disease. In case class will be being within school anymore, than say be allowed to be aquaba. So and those who are still moving from home, which is the regular day students, will call on their authorities to make sure the protocols are observed.
Thank you. And when I switch back to General Mazu, and General Mazu, I think that Yabu bought Nyamani in a tough farm. But don't you think that easing restriction on schools, say Nipa, even if a single person able ra school or no, nase or a friend saying COVID media, if me I infected Obibia or Obiana. And I think that in the first place it's a very good idea. But do you think that it will hold? Because people are coming from
hold.
Talking about conditions in April to know.
Mr. Osoja, listen, Latif has spoken nicely about the way we should handle this thing. We should treat COVID-19 as we are treating malaria. We know the causes of malaria. When you become too exposed with mosquito, the female mosquito, Anopheles mosquito, that is where you get it. You know reasons why somebody will get cholera when the person is exposed to filthy environment. You know why you should get COVID when you fail to adhere to the safety protocols. Fortunately, Ministry of Health vis-a-vis respective government worldwide have come up with safety protocols. These safety protocols is not peculiar to only the people of our country. Here, we are observing social distancing. They tell the people of Ghana, observe social distancing. And this so Obiba from different places. Like we just discussed it here. When that recalcitrant congregant wanted to get himself involved into Masalachino, one said the Imam no. But the problem is, your question will become very valid. If the person who is coming to get himself involved in the student activities, that one nobody can tell. As we speak here, no one will be able to know whether the four of us here are infested or not. But the only thing we do is that we are coming with our face masks and stuff like that. Just that we so believe in one another that Latif will not do anything untoward that will attract him or that will allow the convict to get him infested. So I feel very comfortable speaking with him without even a mask. But when it comes to our part of the society, they are children, you need to guide them. If you have a daughter, if you have a son, if you have a teenager who is going to secondary school, before you final year student, you have to tell him what he needs to do. Yes, government has done his part. Government has done his part by making sure that, yes, in the midst of this COVID-19, we have to balance up the system. The economy, vis-a-vis educational institution, vis-a-vis a lot of religious activities, vis-a-vis funeral. And the chunk of the issue is now left with the individual.
Pacho, Mazu,
Yeah.
I think that's a very great presentation. My person me saw a question back on asking. So let me see them make no. Yeah, churches no. Some of the churches no. Back at home no. Some of them they have almost about
3,000, 4,000.
3,000 members.
Yeah.
And I think that in some way, based on the president has more can say nipa 100 and a bit me aquademo.
Yeah.
Until the sa nipa 3,000. And on here donor, how do you select or more member this week? And at the same time, you're talking about church in the Crampono. Sometimes you don't know, say, me, quite sorry, ne, and it's now quite sorry. It depending, it could be say a Juma Asem, it could be say family Asem, it could be so.
Mr. Osoja, Matthias, you see, Nipa, we are human beings. You and I are human beings. Let's put aside the issue of NDC, acrimonious NDC MPP aside. We are human beings. When you do this thing to a human being, he will tell you that he needs this again. When you do this thing to a human being, he will tell you that listen, the president has eased the restriction.
Or if we were all monitoring how most of these pastors were always disturbing the president to relax the measures, they want to go to church. Like you just said, now that the measure has been relaxed, the same people also complain.
No, I think it's one thing that
a week ago, before the end of Ramadan, do you hear President Donald Trump said that churches and mosques can open? Donald Trump in this country.
Oh yeah, because he was saying they are also part of the essential way.
Yes, he said. No, let me make up the point here.
Because based on the Okan Latif, maybe I will say. I think that we are all mathematicians.
Yeah.
I'm
not a mathematician.
Basic arithmetic. Yeah, we all know. Don't you think that KBR say offer based on average and I say based on percentage? Say yeah, okay. Sorry,
also what can be brave? You have learned. You don't even
because
let me tell you something.
Let me land with a point because if you don't allow me to land with a point,
go ahead.
I think that it will not make sense.
Go ahead.
I have to say a church of 3,000 members. That's what makes me be a 600. I could church no one timer. Don't you think busy church no more people there woman. And go back to says okay. So our church we nipa 200 bet me ako. Duncan Williams, one time they can take 1,000 people. So nipa 250, able to me dan say or no also no be taking nipa 100. Na church we also almost no 300. I don't America no. Yes.
So you expect the president to know every church in Ghana has this number of congregants? Is that what you expect? You expect the president to know every mosque has this number of congregants? Is that what we're talking about? Also, the president should waste his time to go from Accra up to Paga to know the number of churches that are there and to know the number of congregants, then come up with arithmetic.
I think that I will disagree with you simply because why do we form committees?
What committees?
We
have more than 1 million churches in Ghana.
There's no problem about that.
Also,
I just want us to be neutral.
No, we can be neutral here. I am speaking. I'm speaking.
Yes.
If you are tired of waiting, you can just if you are tired of waiting, you can just go on. Also, Latif, Soja is expecting the government. Forget about the government of MPP. I'm speaking in favor of MPP, right? Forget about the government of MPP. Every single government that comes in, you are expecting such a government. The government of Latif to be able to know from Accra up to Paga. These are the number of churches we have in the entire country, and each church house has this number of congregants. How can it be possible?
That's
Let me land. When I land, you have the whole time for yourself. You can speak whatever you want to speak. Are you getting me, also, Ja? So now, it is left with you, an individual. Government has given out its own proposal. Well, in order to balance up the issue, also, Ja, and Mama restriction Nipa, also, a lot of people didn't even have their contact with their maker in an congregants. Until now, they feel the absence of God in them. Now they have eased up the restriction. You are now telling people that restriction no 100 year and yet once was 500 kura, they will complain.
Thank you.
You understand?
Thank
So
you.
it is now left with the church, Masa. Theo, it's now left with the church members. Ah? Tie, so Obikacho say where this is fire. I have put up a protection for you. The fire will not catch you. It is now left with you whether you can walk inside or not. The government has done its part. There's no individual as we are who will be satisfied. Nyakupon our boy, Nyakupon our wosuru. We are accusing God for being discriminatory, for not able to give Nyakupon mauska, wamamiska. Then you are accusing God. Ebe nipa. Nipa.
Thank you.
People are made short. Who complain we are short. We are tuntum, who are bleaching. A lot of bullshit that is coming from human being. So, Masa, forget about the noise. Ekosono.
Thank you.
Let me just land first. Nana Akufo-Addo, for all I know, Nana Akufo-Addo or ex-President John Dramani Mahama, if in the unlucky event he becomes a president, in the unlucky event he becomes a president and there's a pandemic, I believe that he will not subject the life of people into danger. This is what I believe.
Thank you.
We should think much.
What is your take on this?
Thank you very much.
Give you 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Yeah.
No, I have to jump more than
I
that.
was chipping in with questions, so we're going a little bit back and forth. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
With that, what is that question? It was a, you know, as I said, after this restriction, when we say president, no person will use this as an avenue to see whether the people will go to church, and then you call. If you are going to church, go and queue for so that they compile their needless register. So what they are saying. I don't know, and a church be over 3,000, 1,500. How do they go to church? It means 100 per 1 hour, another hour 100. It means a day, no. Nipa be say, almost spend 10 hours a day. Ubia be di an hour or church, and 20 minutes each. So what they are saying. But look at what the ministers themselves were saying. Almost say the lives of the people, no, almost congregants, no, almost life no hiamomo, until they should still stay at home. And let's see, say, Yarena perform kakra. So what they are saying, answer na ombe statia kwa sorry omako. If you any mama example, most of the leading founders of some of the churches came out with what I'm trying to tell you right now. So what they are saying, because someone who say any advisable, though they are going to maintain those protocols that we are talking about, social distancing, wearing face mask. Sorry, the way we worship, no, any side you are way, any jumao. So what they say, it will not help us at all. We are going to spread the disease over there, rather. And most of the leaders now who say, and we hear some members in the bed, sorry. So what they say, and the president and Makacho said from the beginning, no, all lift ya no manya day on the very primaries. And let me say, honorable Kurabeko contest here 20th or more to about a constituency. You primary say who share in so and tokwanko amushi share die ni primaries omgwago no so amushi share die already known so your president this time we have seen Akufo-Addo is going to lead their party just after the restriction. So what they say, and what Reverend Opuni said, you know, is in the right direction. We all meet Kuramekai and son of Reverend Opuni di buy say or ye we no in order for them to have what time to do their primaries for their what we call it, the December election, and also have their flag bearer, and also let the EC compile the needless register which the whole country is kicking against. The whole country is kicking against.
But what the dynamic can say, the dynamic can say, listen, we're all mathematicians, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think say you are sorry with members of 3,000? It means that their auditorium no at one time no.
A bit me for 600.
And don't you think say beer? So busy no
numbers no
but say you were various MPs,
yes,
and you various MPs,
yes,
and then you were district chief executives,
yes,
you were at the same time they can also form committee,
exactly,
area so yeah, they can come out with a point say okay so we there are 200
yeah,
because it wouldn't impact 200 in qua a very congested,
exactly,
100 bush you go, but on 500 in there. If it's a 500 there, at least no. And if it's a inside BBC by and can you to me why because most of the churches no.
But let me tell you one thing.
Yeah.
It is not needed. They don't need to go to church right now. Share nipa life we here o. Unya yare we na you are gone o. You are dead and gone. Ye hu biom. But who take it time? Kakra na say ayino brasse now start o. Share maybe some time ago university a whole university came home for a whole year. This okay. A whole university o. Omo ba fie betra fie for a whole year because of BBC a strike or something. Yeah. They were able to stay home. So what they say now where they acquire yare at say wuti nya na wunya ubewu. She has now you were 48 days me wa. 42 deaths. And look at those people, they have lost their life. Who knows say can you be to be president? How can you know? Have you seen it? Most of them could have grew up to come and contribute to the development of our nation.
Who told you those who lost their lives are children?
They are what?
They are children.
Some there are young ones among them. They are all not over age. For that one you can conclude. I can't have 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So in effect, you know, old soldier, and asem no one down. So list restriction here or lift it from the beginning. You know, a crime person here, hospitals right now. Kolebu is crying for PPEs. Omunibio. Most of the front leaders, you know, they are crying for PPEs. Yenibi, but they are providing PPEs. My electoral commission say, you be provide or be make it distancing near the non-compiled needless register. When hospitals Kolebu, a hospital like Kolebu is looking for PPEs to help fight the disease. Omunibi, president in our campus kana wajini na money from IMF, money from Mahama Stabilization Fund, $300 million. Scam kwaji wo eyi nyina omo de agu ona I say ye chema busu for the family and friends. Wow. The time will come for them to account for it.
Latif mamima we fence 1 minute 30 seconds.
Yeah, also EFA restriction no and easy restriction no. Yama directive say churches no at most churches and mosques no at most 100 people could observe or go and worship, you know. I think is the right is in the best is in the right direction because these churches, you know, and leadership of some of these churches, if you all bear with me, or more have government, they be on best what more worship. So this is the case. Say government, no, if he say at most, nipa 100 a bit me alcohol worship. I think government has been a listening government. Imagine saying no.
We heard from Imam even that shouldn't come.
I'm coming on there. The leadership of Ahmadiyya, the name they are skipping me, but the leadership of Ahmadiyya no also I throw caution to the followers say Omama government know the benefit of the dance or more respecting government the directives. But to them no they are advising Omo members say to stay home.
Yes.
But the other aspect there can say we have equally a good number of pastors who are always blasting the government that they want to go and worship. A typical example is Pastor Kum Chacha. He's always on radio blasting. So now the issue is that government has allowed you 100 people at most. The best you can do is you have to draw your timetable. It is not government business to draw timetable for you.
They don't value the
so that you have our government
they don't value the
draw timetable for you.
They want their money to go job for
so also yes. For the churches and the mosque, with all due respect, let's abide by the directive of the government. That is the best for us now.
Kum Chacha and go, they just want money for their big
Kum Chacha, Pastor Busum something. Can you imagine this?
1 minute 30 seconds.
Also,
yes, boss.
They say, because Asam no once offer ya buy dear is going to be we are going to be opposing to each other. There hasn't been one occasion a member of an NDC, whether informed or uninformed member of NDC, will subscribe to the procedure and methods our government pay you so. And this is very bad for our country. I have had the chance to appear. No, let me just go on. I have had the chance to appear on national television. Time with a number, I praised John Dramani Mahama, our ex-president.
It's like baby a depa. We have to. This is what he has done. And from day one up to now, Akufo-Addo, President Akufo-Addo, from up to now, he has not done anything good.
Zero.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, also I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was listening to your program. I just have a small.
And from day one up to now, Akufo-Addo, President Akufo-Addo, from up to now, he has not done anything good. Okay, that's
Hello? Yes, I'm here. I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah. If you can
Yeah,
speak
I
a
was
little bit
listening
louder,
to the
that would be
program.
wonderful.
Oh, okay. I was listening to your program, but I think I think the points have been made already. Anyway, because your call was late. The lifting is not about church; it's about medicine. I mean, the government is making decisions based on a medical principle, nothing to do with how many people show up to church. So if the government says 50 people are supposed to, 50 people is only people who can be in a room, and you have a church of 50,000, then you figure it out. I mean, it has nothing to do with, the government cannot be, the government, there's a separation of church and state. The church doesn't tell church or religious people how many people, how they should worship. The government only is dealing with public health and telling them that, hey, you can only put 20 people here. So I think your man in the middle mentioned that already. So I think that's fair. And also, I think I was listening to something about I think a lot of people misinterpret what the lockdown was about. The lockdown was not about to eradicate the virus. It was about to create awareness. The virus is not, like the NDC man said, the virus is novice. So if it's novice, that means you can't get rid of it. It's not the point. The point is to create awareness among people that, hey, there's something amongst us and we need to take action. So once the thing is lifted, people have to abide by the rules to conform. And that's all I have. But I think the idea about the government has to calculate churches, and I think Honorable made that mention. The government can't do that. Government is only dealing with public health and saying that only 20 people can show up here. If you have 50,000 people and you want to break them down 1 hour, that is your problem. That's not a government issue. That's all I have to contribute. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. So, I think now we will move on to the next topic, and I think we've designed for today. So it's about the EC. You know, sending in anymore no NDC at the Electoral Commission or court. And I think they went to court and listening to Paul Adom Otre, he sent a lawyer to the court premises, and this is a report by the name lawyer Vincent. And Supreme Court was chaired by Justice Enim Yabua. It's almost about 7 justices, and or more. Attorney General was represented by the Deputy Attorney General Godfred Odami, because they were not able to come into a mutual understanding. Supreme Court can say the EC should submit legal justifications as to why you cannot use the old voters register card, and within 8 days, they have to, turn in their submission into the next hearing. Is going to be June 11th. Into the EC needs to prove beyond reasonable doubt. Near end is for agents or more can say a year way Article 45. It asks the EC to compile, review the register periodically. Compare and review. They first say, listen, you are dealing with that. What you have to do is just do a mop-up. Identity and over when you new register. Oh, and they first say, because when you new register is going to disenfranchise some people, because the minimum one are waiting now and look at the stress that one go back and forth. Oh. Now, I think a former president Lawrence also a contributor here. Now, the contribution now someone or can say the EC must be supported and protected. The constitutional mandate of the EC must be respected by all, but must be done in consultation with all stakeholders. Sarah me born tough no. I think say in 2016 so Paul Adom Ochre still no one Charlotte say Edin Komo. Charlotte say na sama okan no the same thing or say the EC what they do and say they update the SBIT and the election. So validation is not in the CI. CI no ni akwa that court CI no. The okay say I think say last week na Deputy Attorney General no or that can say NDC case normally the Supreme Court they are not going to hear it because the CI, which is like the constitutional instrument, is in Parliament and it has not matured. Actually, it did mature in June 5th and never mature. But it was a different game. I think say the law of the land in and the Supreme Court and to me they actually Emma Obia ehun say omo kwan easy kwan say oye and I say easy no kwan say oye. I think say we know I'll start with
let them start.
What Mpacho tie. Over Mpacho tie.
In 2016, they always make me with the NDC start then they come in.
Over
and yes, I can't start to. But
Mpacho bre. Me and I'm here. Your friend saying the moderator no. I'm the host. Oh, any day my Mpacho offer you start my why. Now you also want drink one no. Anyway, maybe say bibia no eh one person.
No, the thing is
this
is a political debate. The one in government must speak. I'll talk. I've been to so many platforms.
Hello. Hello. Oh, soldier. Oh, soldier.
Hello.
Hello, Monsieur. Oh, soldier. Who's here?
Yes.
Mpatokacha panelist ni so munye di kakra mo kasa dodo.
Yo.
Yes, oh, soldier, my name is Muhammad Ali. Okay. My key name is Nana Kweku Shede Etlumodin the First. And I enjoy all the discussion that is going on about the COVID-19. But you see, my problem is, it looks as if the government of Ghana is joking with coronavirus. Because the first move that the president made was good. That is, to control the curve. This is what New York had done. To control the curve, to make sure that nothing happened. Government was able to control the people as they quarantine or they ask us to stay at home here. The whole thing would have been zero infection, zero people who have gotten coronavirus, and then people will be quarantined to be shown how to be taught so that they could be able to understand. This is a virus that is under the microscopic lens. You can't see it with your eyes. I can give you the number of people that I know in New York City, drivers, those that I live with, about 20 people who have died out of coronavirus. And me and you, we have our families back in Ghana. The government made a good move. Everybody appraised Nana Akufo-Addo for doing that. And then all of a sudden, there was a U-turn that he's going to open the country. Why? Ask yourself, why? Ask yourself, why? Ask the panelists, why? And then after that, all of a sudden, Electoral Commissioner comes in this pandemic situation that she's going to organize register. There's nothing wrong with doing the register, but she decided to take NIA and then passport. Now ask me, I'm from Atebubu. How many people in my village has passport as evidence of the fact that they are qualified to register? So the EC should have looked at the pandemic that we have and use the old register. If you think people are dead, you can prune them out. But you are not doing this, and you are creating more chaos for the next election that is going to happen. Election, a register that you use and you won with 1 million votes. So it makes it look like as if the NPP is in cahoots with the EC. If you are sitting down, there's a proverb in Hausa that says that Suguni ineye kamada kashi. If you meet somebody by the roadside and is squatting, and they say somebody has eased himself by the road, who do you think it is? The man you saw squatting by the roadside.
Yo.
So also that someone may make chat when say Malam Muazu ni Abdul Latif ni NDC panel who said Ghana should have an agenda and it shouldn't take any political colorization. That is what is killing Ghana. If you breathe, they politicize it. If you eat, they politicize it. Then why? Why?
Yo.
Thank you so much.
Nana, where the Yadasi Bebre? Yadasi Bebre.
Thank you.
What about you?
Yes.
Into Mr.
No, me, I said it too. When I have attended so many platforms for a debate, they are in government. They start and I come in. That is how it's done.
Listen to me.
Minyantaba anka metuma kodonji na wanting you. Minyantaba anka
because I've really elaborate on everything. Like the NDC went to court and the EC Omo rep Deputy Attorney General, the President of Government Odami. He was saying, the CI, the constitutional instrument has not matured in Parliament. Because of that, the Supreme Court will not hold a hearing. But it was the opposite. They hold a hearing, but one can say the NDC should bring, legal justification to prove. Yeah, the EC. The EC should bring, legal justification because they were thinking, they will come into a consensus. Okay. But what is your take on that?
Very good. You see, I keep telling you, MPP doesn't have an atom of problem with legal battle. From 1992, there has been a lot of issues that we had with the then NDC government. We went to court. We sent the issue to court. Like I told you, in our subsequent discussions, MPP never felt very comfortable when we were going to the pool using OPEC ballot box. We never went on demonstration. MPP never felt comfortable when we were going to the pool. Voters were using ID with that photo ID. We didn't go to court. We didn't march on the street. We went to court. You understand? I can recall a lot of issues that took place, but NDC took the legitimate way. And to say NDC, today if NDC is reasoning up to say that they are going to follow suit, that is fair and good. Now, the Supreme Court has directed the EC to provide a legal basis for refusing to accept the existing, ID card as part of the requirement for the compilation of the new voter ID card. This is all what this, the EC is, the Supreme Court is looking at. Let me tell you this. What on the Supreme Court, when you look at it very well and analyze it very well, what is the Supreme Court looking for? They are looking for the EC to provide them with legal basis. The word legal basis underlined. They are looking for them to give them legal basis why they should eliminate the old voter ID. Fortunately, say another EC pair, a Supreme Court pair, then the EC can provide them without any problem. What we must all understand is that members of some of the NDC have started rejoicing over this. This is not a rejoice matter. You shouldn't rejoice over this. You are facing a legal defeat. Why am I telling you this? Every single first-year student of law is aware of this popular saying, Odi Otram Patim. What does that mean? It means that you cannot pronounce judgment on a matter without referring to the other, or you that hearing the other side. Saminu wong takwa. NDC has filed a writ against the EC. So the Supreme Court cannot arbitrate without listening to the argument of the EC. You understand? Every first year law student is aware. Even if you're not even a lawyer, in our traditional arbitrating setting, I cannot have a problem with Latif. Latif come and explain the problem to you, and then you sit up and then pronounce judgment. Oh, Latif, he's right. But you have to give Ma'azu the hearing ears to also say his case. So, from my little understanding of the law, so far, the EC lawyer will counter the argument of the Supreme Court using this following thing. What does the basic issues are NDC court? One, they are looking for the Supreme Court to give a concrete interpretation of Article 45 subclause A. What does that article say? It is an article that is telling the people of Ghana the right for the EC to compile voter register periodically. So you see, periodically, the last time the voter register was compiled was before 2012 election. Before 2012 election. And then now, the EC is looking for the compilation, an avenue to compile a new voter register. Between 2012 to date, that is periodically, if you understand proper English. So you see, the argument of the EC, the argument of the NDC will be what? Defeated even before it starts. Number two, what are they looking for? The NDC is say your curfew. Yes. The NDC is also looking for the inclusion of the old voter ID into the current as a requirement. As a requirement. Now, Cecia Osoja, to sum it, because we are pressed for time. If the Supreme Court is telling the NDC and the EC, the Electoral Commissioner, to come out with a legal argument, for them not accepting the old, it was the same EC in the Abu Ramadan case that ruled that people who have registered using the National Insurance ID card amounted to illegality. And because of that, the EC succeeded in expounding almost 56,000 names. Among we are 2016 general election. Yeah, and the say easy about Supreme Court ruling on Abu Ramadan case, telling the Electoral Commissioner, giving them the mandate and authority, the legal mandate to go and expunge, to go and remove names of people who have used the national insurance card. That same insurance card, those are the same people who have had access to the old voter register. So if today the Supreme Court is telling the Electoral Commissioner to come out with a legal basis, this particular Abu Ramadan case,
Thank you.
can even defeat them. But let's look at it. On Monday, the EC will submit its written legal basis on why they are excluding that. It's unfortunately we are pressed for time.
Yeah.
I will leave it.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
And Abdul Latif.
Yeah.
In fact, what is your take on this? We know somebody think we the former EC can say, and the law is interpreted as the law, not as EC or as the party wants.
Yeah.
International say when we be a person country and say Emran be a dano any of them. With my summarize now my end.
Yeah. Also, once again, me that's it for this opportunity. The same take your opportunity now. Me appeal to your listeners. Say, omotin be now many and it's wrong. Okay, good. So also issue, an issue, or this very issue that is before court.
Yeah,
to me, certain steps were overlooked, or there were certain breaches, which is we all do agree at some point in time. Nananom, who are also key stakeholders in the governance of our country, appealed or invited the EC as to how the issue could be resolved. I think had EC volunteered or had EC met with Nananom, we wouldn't have even passed the stage to go to the court. EC's failure to meet Nananom called for the issue to be sent to court. Now the issue is at court. So the issue or the case here is whatever verdict that is to come or whatever outcome is gonna be given, we all have to adhere. Not all verdicts will be pleasing enough or will sound good to any of the parties involved, be it NDC or MPP. At the end of the day, the interests of Ghana override any personal or party interest. So once an issue is at court, advice from lawyers is that we just have to wait. We don't need to dig into, or else we'll be pronouncing judgment, and that is also an offense.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yo, Wafayao. Yes, sir. Straight to the point. What is your take on this?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Also, when we issue the entire idea court no say we want a better interpretation of the Article 45 sub clause 2, which is say voters ID is the primary document. The whole country ubisa ubia when him say the primary document ayewo BBR. What they say?
Article 45. What kind of
Maybe let me build my this thing. You if you have a question, you ask me and I'll continue. What does it say? Make it say EC can review voters register. We are aware that he can review, but what we are saying, based on the current, I just want to build on that. Then I come on that. Share the voters ID now. EC no so or take it out of the registration. It's uncalled for. It is something they have planned in order to disenfranchise people in the country, especially the strongholds of the opposition party. And I hear last time I meet and I show you how they wanted to do it. By saying say or call voter region call register it's sort of 1.2 million or register 600,000. And omu paki omu niyama koe. Omu si oye machina ye say ni ade and omu dwane koe. Omu ko Upper East was have almost 400,000. They register about 200,000 and left them. Upper West, the same situation. The number of people that registered and voted in 2016, their number was decreased by 50%. Are you getting it? In all that strongholds. Are you getting it? Then when they came to Ashanti region, that was when he sent the CI to call that he was going to eliminate this thing and take passport and then the NIA card to do the basis of what? The primary or the new register. No? So what they say? Then he quickly employed people, added a lot of people to Ashanti region to register people. So what they say? And we deploy or the microphone or the voter region or double number no equal Ashanti region. Why do you have to do that? Easy. We here Jumama the whole nation. No? You want to favor the party in power to the neglect of other political parties. And this thing is clear. We can give you the figures. Oko Ashanti region, what did we see? Ashanti region had about 2 million voters or registered 2.4 million. Ashanti region, the ultimate register Omunina, say register Essex. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Are you following me?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Thank you very much. So, Omun said that the same thing was brought to Eastern region. Eastern region, midnight, Nirani register Nkrofo. So what they say? Aha. In the Eastern region, Yanya figure near, but it will exceed the number that we had that voted in 2016, and extra people will be registered. The question I want to throw to them is that why is it that voter region you couldn't even register all, but their number decreased? Upper West decreased, you couldn't capture all. Upper West is also the same thing, half of them. Does it mean that people are dead over there? What about Ashanti region? People are not dead. Is that not it? Tsunami BSC or voter region, Upper East, any Upper West, and yes, ANC or Ashanti region. So what they say? Does that make sense? What they say? That is why they are calling for new register. Say a national identification card, you know, any passport. You know the EC is in bed with the ruling party. Akufo-Addo controls everything. Jaah-Mensah is the daughter of Akufo-Addo's wife. Akufo-Addo, the senior sister, ne bana Jaah-Mensah. And I will point to Yiri Nuyaba Akoye EC. Where in Ghana, which world will you see this thing? Have you seen the whole thing now? So the DC is being roboted. She's just doing the bidding of somebody.
We have 2 more minutes.
Yes, I'm coming. Yeah, I'll come on that. Have you seen the whole brouhaha about the voter new register no? Inti ya semani say Abu Ramadan sa semana o ka no ma memfa nko court no ho. O kai say Abu Ramadan dey sa sem no court no. Yes so mo dey NIA card ye nyina ye omu dey register.
Oh yeah, that was
maybe very good. Ye free mu. Now what was the basis on the register? Enye voters idea. Obi all voters ID bia na ye dey go register me boana. Aden na ne dey ye see obi all voters ID no. Yenyi ni din film ni enkofa kada NIA kada ya nkofo bebre ni bi. Let me tell you, the whole country they registered 11 million. Out of 11 million, it was only 6.5 million that have their card. The rest don't have it. Passport, it is only 2 million people have passport in the Ghana. What they can want nipa me 10 million one in this franchise with the sense say Ashanti region they have the NIA card, they have the passport. They buy Eastern region so at the same thing you register omu bebre. Omu ni edi register no. Now tell us omu they are winning maintaining power. You see what the EC, what do we call it, the NIA and the government is doing currently. This is what is going on. The EC, the NIA and the current government they are in bed. And in some way, cause we are thrown on mudi and I voter register and you're obsolete. What obsolete? What is he talking about? Are they register here no 2012? 2012 was how many minutes am I back? Me patrol, yeah. 2012 register na here no. It's one of the best. Me buana. You can't compare that register to anybody. So if they are telling me say that register na nya and the Akufo-Addo is not president, let me tell you something. That register here way Akufo-Addo do lose election. Mahama won. Mahama did lose election 2016. Akufo-Addo won. Always you have been laughing the NDC that you won by 1 million votes. Let's go with the same register now. You say you are running away. Say okay, new register. When you was are you getting it? There is no logic in this. They have a hidden agenda. Is to make sure say Oma disenfranchise people from the opposition side. You know, no munko for now. Oma isi na ma kwa the machines. Na kwa ya register more. Ashanti region 2 million. Why register 2.4? I think the Ashanti region, the voter region, maybe I'm summing up. Yes, yes, maybe just 5 seconds. Tie Ashanti region, Corona ngu Ashanti region, tsunami and see hurricane country and see but in the voter region, the hurricane country and see I see Upper East, I see Upper West, which is the stronghold of the NDC, and we register half of their distance. How do you make that? So this is the evidence that the whole country is.
Excuse me, can you say NIA, you know, Omode we saying.
Oh, but say no the fan kan kura omo ba be check paper, omo ba be chairman crofo ana. Yes, they are going to share, but my friend, the fact is that the primary document that is used in the whole country, business be out by a voter's ID in Yebisa, or BNBisa NIA card, meba soldier. Nobody has passport. I'm coming. When you are going to transact business, nobody will ask you for a passport. They will ask you voter's ID. Yes, and it be a question. Be ready to answer. Be ready to answer.
Okay, maybe question me I won't say. Now we can say NIA for no.
Yeah.
For now, no, yeah. 5 million. Almost a young card.
Yes.
Yeah. Letter about one here. I mean, read as of June 5th, 2020. No. I say a year 8 June. So 16th no.
Thank you. They are going to issue it. I know what you want to. Okay.
I cannot present my
Thank
point.
You. Meet you. I will answer you. Manumbra.
It's a very question. Answer. What's my working? According to when about no. Bibiano is a process.
Yes.
Yes. Send tomorrow cotton, and that cotton go through processes, go through machines. It become a texture, it becomes a fiber, it becomes a texture.
It
is here it's BB on Bush or Moye. International or Moye, no, still knows how we can.
Yes, thank you very much. And no, Moye, from the beginning, when they started their card, they made us aware, say it was not going to be part of the new register EBR. That is what they told the people. So nobody put in mind that you are coming to compile a new register and you are going to use NIA card. NIA card is needed. Everybody should have it, but they shouldn't be the basis for the register. This is what we are talking about. And NDC, we have a point there.
Janamazo, but not 3 minutes.
Meteo.
You have 3 minutes now.
Oh, answer me there. What do we say again? Because the bottom line has already been established. Issues that are in court, we are not even expect to discuss matters that are in court. It amounts to contempt of court. You understand? The NDC have now risen with the ordinary Ghanaian and felt that the best way to arbitrate it is to move from the street and go to the court.
So, yeah, I think
they've been able, yes, they've been able to come out with 4 issues or 3 or 4 issues that they want the case to resolve. One of it is the legal basis on why the EC is not accepting the old voter ID. So let's wait and see. Number 2, understand NDC very well. Understand, you see, they keep on manipulating the minds of people, which is why I am telling you on authority, NDC has never won election in any intellectual environment in Ghana. They have never won one single election in any intellectual environment. Schools that are in Ghana, fortunately for us, all the 3 of us here have gone to university in Ghana. There's no single university that NDC wins. I'm telling you on authority. There's no single university in Ghana that NDC control. You see, any time and any period where people are becoming wiser and wiser, they are shifting from NDC and embracing an intellectual political party like the MPP. They've gone to court. Let's listen to what is going to go there. Now, the second issue, they are now arguing. Says, yeah, they have now shifted from, they don't like the new voter register. They are now shifting into inclusion of the old voter register. There's no single place in their rate. They don't like the new voter register again. All what they are saying is that, well, why are they excluding the old voter? So it means that if the government, if
just 1 minute.
Yes.
The phone lines are open. You can call in to contribute at 917-340-7744. The phone lines are open. As we're having our concrete conversation, you can also call in to contribute. The number is 917-340-7744. You can also call us on WhatsApp on the same number has been registered. You can call on the same number.
Yes. Very good. Like I told you, They have gone to court. The rate the NDC want the Supreme Court to explain is the interpretation of clear understanding of Article 45 sub clause A. That clearly states that whether the EC has the logo, whether the EC has the mandate to compile a new argument. So let's see what is going on. But you see, there's another thing that they're looking for. Having established that, they want the EC, the Supreme Court, the EC to include the old voter register, so that people who hold the vote, the old enu, on that match or voting. Fine and good. The EC has received letter from the Supreme Court about the need for them to provide them with legal basis. Like I told you earlier on, this is much ado about nothing. I know it's a journey of nowhere. They are going to receive another miserable legal defeat in their face come 11th of this month. Simply because, you know why? The Supreme Court has already sat on this matter. Like I told you earlier on. Using the Abu Ramadan case.
Give me 1 second, please. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the Bronx. My name is Muhammad Ali, and my contribution is also, I have the Constitution of Ghana right in front of me, as evidence of whatever you guys are going. If you have the Constitution, 1992 Constitution of Ghana, page 43, right to vote. Listen carefully. This is the right to vote article says. 42. Every citizen of Ghana of 18 years of age or above and of sound mind has the right to vote and is entitled to be registered as a voter. Underline. I want you all to underline. To be registered as a voter for the purposes of public elections and referenda. So what is the argument EC making now? It means the EC that is supposed to register all Ghanaians is now disenfranchising Ghanaians. Because how can you use passport and NIA or card that has not been completed as a basis to register people? When people have birth certificate, we use birth certificate as evidence of citizenship to get our passport, and then use the same birth certificate to send it to NIA authority to make sure that we have national identification card. So what is the argument the EC making? And what is the argument all these political parties are making? You should have come together, MPP, NDC, and with the president to say, look, no, let's use the birth certificate as the basis. If you are a Ghanaian, you have a pass, you have a birth certificate. Why are we not using that? And then you are going against the same constitution that has given you the chance to register people who are qualified to register. So where is this provision? Why are they not working with this constitutional provision? And they are cherry picking some clauses in the constitution just to suit their own whims and caprices. Look, I am talking not with any political colorization. I support Ghanaians. All Ghanaians must be given the chance to vote. If they vote Nana for the second term, good. If they boot him out, that is the essence of politics. If you do the right thing, you are endorsed. If you don't do the right thing, you are booted out. Ghanaians should change their minds. Look at what is happening in this country. The President of the United States has not been able to take care of the COVID-19 problem, and he is sinking in the polls. He is sinking in the polls. Why? Because he has to inject themselves with disinfectant. That is what they want to do in Ghana. Come on.
Thank you, General.
Think and think again.
Thank you, General. That's a great presentation. General Mazu, you can continue, please.
Mohammed Lamin is my brother. And let me tell you very well. And if you are listening to me, Mohammed Lamin, there is no atom of inconsistency in the article you have quoted. The article 42 you quoted about the fact that every single individual who is born and bred in Ghana, 18 and of sound mind, has the right to vote. Who told you that people with sound mind are not allowed to vote? Every institution has its own criteria. Every institution and setup has its own mandate. The EC came out and spelled the criteria he wants the people who says they are Ghanaian to produce. People have registered. We have had people who have infiltrated into our system. People from Togo came in through voter region, got into Ghana, got themselves with old voter ID card using the national health insurance. They were able to access it when you were in power, simply because we share border with Togo, and we have gotten the mandate and you want us to continue that way? Hell no, Ghana doesn't belong to you. If you want the people of Togo to get themselves included in our voter register, we have no problem. Produce the Ghana card. If you can't produce the Ghana card, produce passport. If you can't produce passport, we have allowed you to bring 2 people to vote for you. What's it? People are calling Mohamed Lamin call, and then he only excluded the third requirement of you getting 2 guarantors. Mr. Lamin, there are 3 categories or requirements. Whether you use Ghana card, you use your passport, and then 2 people who know you very well can come and vote for you. When they vote for you, you have the right to get included. So if you can't produce this, we allow our people to, the people of Ghana to be manipulated by Togolese, where we have incontrovertible evidence of people who have found themselves in the voter register of Togo, and their names are found in voter register of Ghana. Do we allow such thing to continue? Hell no, we are not going to accept that. Wafaya was alluding to a fact that they have been there. I don't want to even be the spokesperson of the National Identification Authority because I don't want to even go there. But let me sound here. The issue about Upper West, Upper East region being a notorious stronghold of NDC has now become demystified using the election 2016. In Upper West region, if you care to listen to me, they have 7 constituencies. NDC had they have 11 constituencies. NDC have 7 and we have 6. So where's your stronghold? Voter region, they have 18. We have 9. They have 9.
Thank you, General.
So what are you talking about?
Yeah, Latif.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one key issue me tackle, and it's still also related to the election and also related to the easing of the restriction, and it's all about an invitation by CID that was sent to Kofi Aduma Wanweni of Angel FM. He's the director of news.
Yeah.
And once it's connected to the same issue of easing the restriction, and the whole thing was about he predicting the possible outcome of the president's address related to the easing of the restrictions. And he was invited by the...
I think you can use 1 minute to...
Yeah, he was invited by the CID.
Yeah.
And I felt with the kind of background that we have from the background of the president being an advocate of democracy, I think there should be a second thought. Mistakes do happen because if you look at the media, the media is like I'm coming 1 minute. No, we all know how governments do have influence in the day-to-day running of the country.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, so
let's just give Latif the benefit
for
of
the media. We all are media men in one way or the other, and the media holds a key role in the governance or in a democratic dispensation of a society. The media serves as a watchdog. So, under normal circumstances, I was expecting Kofi Aduma to be applauded by saying, "Oh, you were a smart journalist. You could predict what the president was going to say," but not to call him and even question him that why was he even able to predict what the president was going to say, and it amounts to he getting the leak information from one angle or the other. I don't think that is right. In building democracy, we should allow the media a free space to operate. That is how best we can build a better society. Thanks for that.
I agree with you very well in this call. I agree with you very well in this call.
So you done with your submission, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I want 3 minutes into
3 minutes. Almost work as a bruise how.
You don't be compared, you see.
If time over man, I saw mommy, sir. I'm here. When he give you 5, you have to give me 5. That one there. Listen, one who nipa na offer, and let me start. But who the people count 3 minutes? The time name more than that. One who nipa na offer as more kind. It's exactly what I was saying. So voter ID na can almost see in film no. Birth certificate and no they call register. What they say? And no they J. So what they say? Passport no more can say no. Birth certificate near the register for passport. NIA card no more can no. Birth certificate near the register to get it. Are you getting it? So the primary document true say will be a citizen or something you're using it in the country for businesses, you know. The voters ID. Also, Jampato will tell me there. And to get a voters idea, you need say what pass it. We Ghana niba. What they say? Because we need a Ghana, we need birth certificate. We need voters ID. So what they say? And to say that, I'll say, easy no to me be no you can. And you say we are independent. You know, why ye be na need to say who the country no called teacher. Ni also we independent. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? And to the voters ID now, it's uncalled for. We understand not just say you want to disenfranchise. How many people have passport? Maybe so. How many people have in mind in Ghana say umbetu kwai? Ghana so be ya na doing so betu kwai. And okoje passport me bwana. So when you are doing so utu kwai, okoje passport the aye. In the first place, it involves money. Passport no. SC50 Ghana and so boa obetu ya more than that. Obi on game what they say. And to the people who have the passport, they are few. And the reason why I would this idea no now you want planning BB already. What they are saying? It is an agenda to disenfranchise people in the country, and that is what the man was telling you. Because anybody who has NIA, what do you call it? Voters ID, had a birth certificate, right? Yes, with the birth certificate, so what did the mention say? And today, there is no way you can take that birth certificate. Now let me come to the court. Winning the reason why why is it that they couldn't pass judgment? People don't understand because say court na say voters ID na your document I register meboa and no the year 2012 register meboa and until you NIA health insurance card no you different brand yes sir. If voters ID has come to become the primary document. Adentin and the Mukatre is in his provided legal basis. Say he want to take the voters ID count. It is they are in bed. We know Amazu have told us that we are going to be defeated. We know. Share the secret is out. All this thing about this a 36-minute call from Akufo-Addo to Anim Yeboah before the judgment. We have everything, and the videos will be coming out. You will see it. Akufo-Addo is having $7 million in that register. Wait, Charlotte say, Bosman Asari. Oh, sorry. J Mensa, which is the one who is being roboted by the president. J Mensa. Onwani sister, ni yiri sister ba. $5.5 million. News number out. Very soon you will get it. I don't want to go into it too much. Are you getting it? So this thing now, when you say register, entering a National House of Chiefs, some friend, or so on. Can you imagine that a whole EC can disrespect the whole of National House of Chiefs? But for sorry, say National House of Chiefs or any friend some who be popo. Mami we so no the wombu ahim for Ghana. It is something they have planned. Onim sika obenya frimu. Aka how many minutes?
No, I can't wait for 2 minutes for wrap up because of curfew.
Thank you very much. So what you are saying? It is the woman. It is something they have planned. Akufo-Addo was $7 million was I register Bruhaimu, and yes I register. Mahama lose election. Mahama won election with it. You lost. You came and won election with it, right? And Amodi 3 SM1 we need by 1 million votes. Yes, yeah. 2020 we are going to with the same register. We say have the me person register no be menye. I would hear 2 national elections. Assemblyman 6,000. TMU where is 6,000 assemblyman 17th January last year. I 36,000 unit committee members with that same register. Wouldn't mean you one president with 275 MPs? Are you getting it? who say after the register to me one president with 275 MPs. Do we have any logic in this? So and the normal planning two things. One, Jamensa want to help rig the election in favor of the sitting president because Nuyaba and our point to in any country no you can't do that. Sana Togo Togo Yadema one winning election cross him win aka 1 minute. Thank you. And at the same time opesika dia country yina ne hotel na wo si cantonment no. So benya 5.5 million. Bosman Asare any Siribo the director of omo $5.5 million will register him. Akufo-Addo was $7 million. And nothing no yes, but very soon the audios will be coming out. And then we will see where it will be. Eti brouhaha about the register no, the secret have come out. And anything na him for cry prayer. Charlotte Jamensa also want to say that. Let me make something clear here. Ja, the name is Ja. The Ja is a French version of John. And guys, so all the N-E ka kura na ye Ja for the females who anye. Inti as the name stand is John Mensa. Inti my friend kura John Mensa. Inti na ni trimiye densa no on tie hwe. The dini ye bema di. So Ja is a French version of John.
That's it.
And then me church last me kana mazu say oh yeah the mambo dini. I want to give the meaning here now.
That's it.
And you know the dino or the John Mensa.
Mati.
And so I see a friend in the female version now.
Latif.
Yeah.
And about 2 minutes now wrap up way.
Once again, I'm really enjoying the whole discussion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there's this that I want to send or share with the whole Ghana or to the leadership of our country. This issue of voter register is centered on birth certificate. So I took it upon myself to test the waters and see how best I could be able to register with the use of passport. Assuming I'm not having the birth certificate, I'm not having the old ID, old voters ID.
Yeah.
Assuming I just turned 18 and I want to be able to vote as enshrined in the Constitution. So I sent 2 people in Kumasi, one at Menchia Hospital, to apply for the birth cert. And the response I had was it will take 6 weeks to acquire a new birth cert, which will be a requirement for a new passport. Surprisingly, that has never been the case. Under normal circumstance, it takes 2 weeks to acquire a birth certificate. So I asked myself if truly the leadership of our country wants us to go in this direction and you need a passport, knowing very well birth cert plays a key role in acquiring passport. At least if we are not sticking to the regular 2 weeks standard to acquire a birth cert, it shouldn't be more than, as I was told, like 6 weeks. And the conflicting report has to do with this. After sending someone at Menchia Hospital, I sent another person to Bekwaran about where we have the regional office of birth and deaths, and the person also did apply for the birth cert, and he was told he was going to get it in 4 weeks time. That's 1 month. So it falls in the same category of having difficulty in securing birth cert. So I want to appeal to the EC to stick to some of this concern that has been raised by statements like former President Kufuor, that she should recognize the old voter register or people who have the old voter ID to be allowed to vote as we wait for the outcome from the court. Thank you.
May that say General Latif. Mr. Mazu.
Yeah, also just.
How much is it?
Oh, baby, Aboko.
Say that you run away.
Oh, say yeah, we in the last week.
Last week. Say Shiba, you're in last
week.
Yo, you know, yeah, rap about say what you just say okay for you.
Yeah, true.
2 minutes.
Okay.
15 seconds. Now for wrap up.
No problem. Me that was a bit I will start with what my brother said. I had wanted to chip in, but you skipped to Wafayao. No problem. It was a very good issue you raised about the CID inviting that young journalist. Latif, to be brutally honest with you, I was a little bit scandalized when I heard that information.
the invitation by that young guy was uncalled for. It must be done in more decent way. But we should be very careful in linking up the presidency to this. The CID might be working very unprofessional. The name of the presidency must be conspicuously missing when it comes to this issue. Because for Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, I know this thing doesn't even amount to anything. You know, we have been monitoring CNN here. Whenever a president is coming to speak, they will ask you, what do you... Once again.
Hello.
Hello, yeah, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, I would like to make a contribution on the program.
Okay, so you have 1 minute, 30 seconds.
No problem. I'll do so.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Hello?
We are listening. Yeah.
Okay. What I want to say is, first of all, I have to admit that Minyaji program open and Minyaji say ya waba back, yeah, offer ya, yeah, Minyaji say ya offer ya waba back program, but and then Honorable Mazu, and then who say when Pushukra why I say Oyario, es o Kenyan, Munkan Honorable Mazu, es o Kenyan.
Kofi.
Yeah.
Oh, Kofi Miyario. Issues that are on table are not so burning enough. And Miyari Kofi.
And so Kenya we're so pushy move because
okay, no problem. Then I within 2 minutes make my own say Makaya.
Okay. Latif we na my idea pa program no cost come pa.
Yo, yeah, that's it.
Offer your offer your back, offer your nyaba na offer your ban or the press and the ban are not too much.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Kofi Midawasi, like I was telling you, Latif has made a very good point, and indeed I subscribe to the call for the unethical conduct of the CID. They didn't try in this, but as we do that, we have to tread with caution when we try to bring in the name of the president into this case. Coming back to the main substantial issues, Mr. Osoja, I was deeply scandalized by the scandalous, malicious, unsubstantiated, and ungodly allegations that are made by Wafayao, to the effect that he is, with the view that $5.5 million is going to Bosman Asari as an EC, to the extent that $7 million is going to the pocket of the president because of this voter's ID card, to the extent that the wife of the president's daughter, the sister of the president's wife, her sister daughter is Jane Mensah. You see, in as much as we're looking for our people to vote for our party, we have to come up with cogent reason why you are better alternative. You can make this allegation in the name of politics.
It's no allegation.
Please. I could have interjected when you were speaking. So you think that Bosman Asari will tell people the amount of money he's going to get in the deal of the Electoral Commission? The President of the Republic of Ghana will let the people of Ghana know that when the voter registration is conducted, at the end of the exercise, I'm going to get $7 million. This is ungodly allegation, and I don't expect it to come from the mouth of somebody who is domiciled in US. I was expecting you to leave this pedestrian delegation to the Bode boys, to the station boys, to the unlettered individuals, not you, what is it, Wafayao. We don't do things like this. If you
keep your fingers crossed.
The issue has not even, they have not conducted the election now. You are telling me that Bosman Asari, a deputy manager of the EC, is getting 5.5 million. So when you appear before your maker, Lord, you see, in as much as we are doing politics, we should do it with godly face. We should do it with human face. We should be able to think that there will be a day of reckoning when you will be accounted for every single statement that you make on earth. Here, I wouldn't make any scandalous, ungodly, unsubstantiated allegation to the person of ex-President Mahama or something like that. I wouldn't do that because I know every also what hear me? Kremosumpa ya maya hunse. So who na say atimuda Nyakopon spejewa. What was sama ekai? Me do Nyakopon ebeba te say flame. On so and so date on 7th of 6th June, you were at Adinkra FM. Na guy be na yo host your friend Osoja. I never be so no. How do you call Malaika? How do you call Angel?
Angel,
very good. Angel never be so. No more Adinkra FM. Ukase no ukase. So in as above so in as very good. In as much as I want my party to win, some allegation ought not to be mentioned because they will be the day of accountability. I wouldn't insult ex-President Mahama on matters that do not matter. But issues to say the airbus by Western media are publishing, you can speak on that because it is something which is up. But to the extent that they are now proposing the compilation of new voter register, Wofa Yao and his apparatus will come and tell you that he's going to get 5.5 million. With this, we 1 minute inside. What about 1 minute inside?
My level, it's maybe today I don't get nothing, but tomorrow I go get something, and I go buy the motor for mama. But the enemy won't worry me. I go show all of them tragedy. No be today, we start to. So if I sing my song, if I keep up for long, because you don't know that day, oh Jesus Christ, he go come. So if you see me today, I know my level. Oh my level. Anybody for me to pay today, I know my level. Oh my level. The time I waka yo. I mean I can go my bed lonely story.
Yeah, Rafa. Wrapping up today's program. It is so amazing. Our listeners, thank you so much. We are very proud of you, our listeners. So subscribe, yeah, Mr. YouTube, but subscribe. Facebook, follow you. You are helping us to build Adinkra Radio. And then we deliberated on issues are so your crew easing of restrictions. And my panelists no obia actually nudging in a very positive and very nice way. When I talk about the EC now, no EC assembly our court. Assembly that court you better train because the highest court is the Supreme Court. Until we're just waiting for the interpretation of the Supreme Court of Article 45. Until you know, Cyprus A. By any bushing for a betrayal, say, but your agents, and you see around the world, Ubia Behuni, Ecoso, our Ghana, any Ajinka Kra, yen so yenim. See about saying now sometimes we go back and forth, we argue over things, but at the end of the day, we are still a family. We agree and disagree, but at the end of the day, we come into a compromise with dignity and respect. We are still one family from different wombs. Asam kakra meka say do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. Do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. And it was said by Lehman. May God bless you and keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you. We are just keeping it for rare. Same time next week, we are still going to be here. We love you all.